Okay, thank you so much for coming tonight. Yeah, it was unexpected, but this is very sacred, special energy here, and we're very grateful for coming tonight. Happy Christmas. Yeah, it's going to be a very special, personal group where you can ask whatever questions you want, be it collective, personal. It's very devotional, so we're very grateful and just looking forward to a lovely evening. Have you seen Trance before? No? No?
No.
Yeah, but everyone else has seen. So normally when I go to into trance, spirit will overtake my body. Only the highest and the best. I only allow the highest and the best. I do invoke a circle of protection, and I only ask for the highest and the best. Nothing else can interfere. It takes a few minutes, then spirit will come into my body. They'll usually say who they are and then give a message. And then they usually invite the questions as they're meant to come, but normally we work in clockwise, so we'll start this way again. If you don't have a question, you pass it round. We say about 45 minutes or so, but we can never really time it. Spirit knows when it's complete, but we say, I don't know, we should do three rounds or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, probably 3-4 rounds, and but if spirit needs to come back sooner or later, they'll usually say and extend it so. So it's going to be beautiful. And thank you so much. When I come back, I don't remember anything, so just allow me to have a few minutes, and then you can tell me what happened, but I don't remember anything, so that's another reason why we record it, because then I can see what's happened. So it's lovely, it's very special, and yeah, thank you so much. No, you're welcome to, yes, of course.
We afterwards put it on YouTube and send you the link.
Yeah.
But of course you can.
And
you
if there's any personal questions that you don't want sharing, I can do a private link on YouTube, so it doesn't reach public. It's just privately, private link. So you say afterwards.
Have it when you have it on your phone, you listen.
Exactly. Okay, so I will see you when I wake up. See you. Greetings, we are here. We come to you tonight on this auspicious event on behalf of the universal Mother Realm. For today we shall be revealing insight into relationships and relationship harmony of your world and other dimensions. We also come along on the ray of Archangel Ariel and bring forth the lion strength, the golden energy and the pink energy, to bring unconditional love, to bring clarity and much healing to all relationships across the world. For this day, which you shall call Christmas in some parts of the country and the realm of earth, is a day to be kind. And yet, beings should be kind on all days and understand the importance of relationships. Relationships to their inner child, to their relations, to their friends, to their family, to animals and beyond. For when there is no relationship, there is no life. And we wish to remind you of the eternal life which exists on many realms of beings. We bring forth so much love and illumination. We invite your first question, dear ones.
Welcome, dear Spirit. First of all, could you introduce yourself to us also, please? And I would like to know about my path on this earth, and even maybe beyond. What is my path, and how can I manifest my highest potential in the best way, and where am I standing and where am I going to?
Greetings, we are from Bluebird, the realm of the birds, for the birds are wise. And indeed, just like a bird, you are a wise one, dear one. There have been times when you have had to stick with your flock. There have been times when you have had to fly away. For even the communities, the families, the beings who you once trusted, you had to fly away at times. And yet there is the need for the making of your nest. For we see that you have many golden eggs that cannot be kept hidden for too long. This is likened to the wisdom and the potential which you know that resides within you. It is important to create sacred space to transmute the pain, and to create the sacred space, for where you are going is one of majesty going upwards. For when the birds fly upwards, they are the most happy. There is the need for the gathering of the birds. What do we mean by this? Finding your tribe and building upon it. Building your nest with those that you can trust and resonate with. Then your golden eggs shall be cracked and born into this world of reality. You have had many relationships and many meetings with people that have not always contributed to the light that you are. And therefore, now is your time for connecting with those that truly nourish, uplift, and restore you in all that you are and your path of expansion. There is the need to find your center. For when you find your center pivot point, you will realize that you can utilize your wings to its full majesty. Your potential, your future, unleashing it, involves a lot with writing sacred space about the birds. The message of the birds, for this is your tribe, for once you were in Native America, a Hopi. And the birds shall reveal to you what you have always known, yet at times searched for and been disappointed. Now is the time to create with your sacred tribe. You are on the path, dear one. Never go astray, and realize that you cannot go astray. For you are loved, and you are wise. Many beings have neglected your wisdom, and yet you have wisdom that must be utilized properly. As in the past lives, there was not always a harmony with the power. And yet in this lifetime, you are striving to utilize and gather the power for the greater good. Therefore, this time is one of sacredness, it is one of ceremony, and it is one of gathering, of connecting for a higher spiritual good. About healing, about channeling, about moving onwards and upwards in the evolution of the beings on earth and beyond. We are sending healing to your neck and to your back, for at times there was a weakness there. There were times when you could receive attacks, and yet now we build up protection, and you cannot be hurt. For now your sacred space is almost complete, getting ready to be activated, ceremonial. There is the need to connect with your tribe, to transmute all that which no longer serves you. Also to connect with Saint Germain, for when you remember who you are, the I Am presence, your true potential shall be unleashed. Does that make sense, dear one?
Yes, it does.
You are welcome, and we love the light which you bring to the world. We invite the next question, please, dear.
Welcome, Spirit. My first question is about a question coming from my heart that is also related to the feather of the bluebird, the story or the illusion. Have I started that, or has it started by itself, by all the forces of the universe? But the story that started with the feather of the bluebird, what's to be done there? How will I continue in my path by loving myself more, fearing less and loving more? And what is this love situation in my life is going to turn into? What is the path to be followed?
The birds and the angels are communicating to you. They bring forth the message of balance, of courage, and of overcoming the trials that you are faced with on your planet and in your experiences. You have felt lonely at times. You have felt the need for deeper connection in personal relationships and also with your tribe. Know that the birds that soar the highest are ones who have found and connected with their tribe. You are one of so much gratitude, of so much knowledge. And yet remember that when knowledge is combined with the experience, it becomes wise. You just need to connect the dots to the dots and be in the right place at the right time. The rest is being taken care of. You are on the correct path, dear one, and you are following your intuition and insight more than you used to. This is a good thing. We wish for you to remember the colors of the gold, the orange, and the red, for these will boost your energy, and there have been times when you have been lacking energy. And yet we also merge those colors with the purples and the blues and the golds, for you have also connected with the ascension energy. It is about integration and expansion. The harmony of relationship to yourself. For when you have the unconditional love to yourself, you have the relationship to yourself, you can fully move forwards and onwards in harmony. You have left the past, that which was so painful, And now the future is one of lightness. It is one of merging, it is one of transforming, where you are protected and stronger than you could have ever imagined. The feathers are very warm and yet very light, for they have many uses. The feather can be used in magic, in flight, for nearly all those animals with wings can fly. Nearly all those animals with wings and feathers can channel the message of love, the unconditional love. That is why chickens are one of the most eaten animals in the world, for they teach the message of unconditional love. And also the bird of the dove, the pigeon, the dove, they bring peace. They bring the message of the olive tree, the peace and the unconditional love. Yet why do so many beings forget to have this to themselves? The olive oil, the olive tree, the birds, the angels, they keep you on your path, dear one. You are hearing your intuition correctly. When you let go of excess gas in the bottle, you will be able to distill and turn your life into gold. There is more we shall extend upon in the next little bit. In love and blessings, we invite the next question, please.
Thank you for honoring us. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the channeler. I would like to know about the mark I have on my backside, on the left, above my butt, on the left side of my back. What is it there for? If there is a purpose. Thank you.
Interesting, as you have never been insecure about it before. And yet it has come at a time of prime importance, for it is slightly growing. It is indeed a stamp from higher intelligence, from one realm of where you have been. That is why there is a little dot on top. It connects you to your place of origin. It is like an antenna, so you can be tagged, so you can be connected, and you cannot fall downwards. It is what you may call as a tag or as an implant, and yet it was given to you when you were born or just a little young girl. It is there to make sure that you are on the path of upwards. For there will be a time with global warming and with your planet where some beings will not be saved. They will have to be reborn at a different frequency, shall we say. They will not be fully destroyed, for the spirit can never be destroyed. And yet it is more about a recognition of species recognizing species. It is rather like planting the seeds. When the seeds need to get sown again, there will be recognition. You are like a heirloom tomato. There are many genetically modified things that are existing now, but you are one of the first walkers on earth. This is just in recognition and to keep you ascending upwards. That is one reason why the power power of recycling is important to you. Both physically and also the recycling of emotions, the recycling of experiences. You can have luxury, you can have wealth, and yet you are not as attached as some beings may be, because you are one of the first walkers. You inhabited this earth before there were knives, before there were buildings. Therefore, you can also appreciate and you can sample the richness of cheeses, of fine quality things. This is not something to be concerned about. It is more about a connection, like the string connecting you to the heavens. And yet, if you notice something else appear on your body, it is to be just aware of. But in this situation, fear not, dear one, for it is there for enhanced communication. Is this sufficient for now, dear one?
Yes, thank you very much.
We invite the next question, please.
I'm blessed that you are honored us today again, and I just want to learn through my life purpose. I'm supporting children, but with my niece and with my relationship with my nieces, both of them, how can I guide them in this life and through them the other children? I want to support more children, as I learned that from one of you before the previous session, and now I just don't know how to combine it with my job, and I want to combine it with my old job, and I just want to use my creativity for children, and how can I support them by this?
What you know and knowledge are similar. Let go of the knowledge. It's good if you don't know. Share your wisdom. Share your light. Record and write down the wisdom, for this is what is required to be shared. Yes, indeed, you have the calling to help children, to be with children, to teach the children, and yet not from the ego, but to teach the wisdom. That is why we say schools teach knowledge, they don't bring wisdom. We remind you not to teach knowledge from books. We remind you to document your wisdom, for knowledge and experience become wisdom. You have so much to give to the children, to keep them on the path of climbing up the mountain, to keep them moving, for when children become stagnant, they become attracted to the lower vibrating things of consciousness. Keep the children to the light, to the vibrations that are upwards. Allow the children to be nourished. Allow the children to be able to enjoy nourishment on the emotional, the physical and the spiritual and beyond. For many children eat, but they are not nourished. Many children have the love, but they are not nourished. Many children pray or have a religion enforced upon them, but they do not get nourished by it. Nourishment. Nourishment is the key. To be nourished is to be able to thrive. There is no point any being on earth if they are not thriving. For if they are not thriving, they are merely surviving. They are struggling. If you can allow children and empower children to truly thrive, then children will want to be alive. Your father didn't want to live. He held in a lot of his emotions for far too long. He was affected by his uncle. There were times of sadness, of grief, he never truly expressed or acknowledged. And indeed, even in spirit, one can still be processing. Your ancestors want you to remember the birds. The birds eat the nuts. They thrive. The birds eat and eat and eat, yet still they can fly. Why? Why? They thrive and they fly because they are not insecure. Dogs are not insecure until they become pets. Then they are afraid what humans may do to them. They are not afraid of a falling tree or lightning or rain. They are frightened of the human's abuse. Humans are the only beings who abuse themselves and one another and animals. Therefore, to thrive, one must let go of insecurities. For no one ever committed a sin or hurt another or hurt themselves from a place of no insecurities. Beings only commit sin or problems to themselves when they are insecure and not as pure with a message of thriving and nourishment. Insecurities of worth, of guilt, of pain must be transmuted. Therefore, in a nutshell, we say to help the children you must invoke creativity, nourishment, love, unconditional love, and allow the children to truly thrive. For the children are the teachers. We don't need to teach the children. We just need to stop them becoming pets of conditioning. For when a dove becomes a pet, it becomes insecure. But when a dove is flying, it is free. The message of the birds. Is that sufficient, dear one?
Yes, thank you.
We invite the next question, please.
Thank you, dear Spirit. I am the soul and the being of the nature, the forest, the mountains, the oceans. Yet I'm being kept on being called to the city to do some work where I am longing for the nature, but I do what I have to do here. So my question is, how can I integrate these two? And yes, what is the suggestion?
You are correct in your understanding and feelings. We congratulate you for that. Firstly, there is a need, as we mentioned earlier, for ceremony. Both physical ceremonies and also the altar, the sacred space in each of your rooms. There is the need to acknowledge all of the directions, to acknowledge the nature in essence. For whether you are in the city or whether you are in nature, there is always air present. Air is the vacuum, the space that is full of stars of consciousness, of infinity, that is co-expanding within you and around you and through you. Therefore, in reality, if you choose to be in nature or be in the city, it's all the same. It's all air, just like the Gemini sign. Therefore, for the balance, for the integration, for the harmony, for the twin aspect, there is the need for the sacredness, wherever you choose to be, to acknowledge the sacredness. For this is what nature does so beautifully. A tree knows its sacredness. A flower knows its sacredness. A nut knows its sacredness. A cow knows its sacredness. We do not need to teach nature. And yet nature has so much to teach to us. By being humble, by being pure, by being prepared to unleash our mission to connect and gather beings together for ceremonies, for sacred space of healing, of art, of movement, you will always feel connected to nature. For nature is always moving, always changing, always transforming. As so is the nature and the planetary oscillations and vibrations and revolving within you. You can never lose your balance when you understand this key. Only the truth shall set you free, not nature, not money, not popularity. The truth is the essence, which is not insecure. For indeed, nature revitalizes you. Nature gifts you freedom. You are safe when you are in nature, more so than others may feel. And yet when you are in the city, you are also on your path, be it a little bit more with some insecurities. Drop the insecurities and allow the nature of Spirit's love to emerge through you, to you, and bring awakening to all those who collaborate and connect with you. This is profoundly beautiful. That is why we have chosen you to facilitate this. We may speak in riddles, in tongues, in codes, and yet your spirit knows, dear one. We know this. We invite the next question, please.
Dear Spirit, now finally in the last years, I'm doing my own job. I'm setting up my own job, and it's. But I was struggling so much. Also in this section, like others, so that struggling phase is in my life now over. Now I'm all through my personal work. I'm more ease in the flow of my life. However, what am I doing wrong in somehow blocking the abundance that could fill my life through my job, through my projects? It seems like there is huge abundance waiting for me. Somehow I'm tapping into it but not progressing. So I'm stopping myself somewhere, somehow, through my fears. What is the way path out of this?
We wish to remind you of the power of the words. For every word is a spirit. You start your journey by acknowledging in the past you struggled. And yet then you cause another story of guilt, of fear, stating that you are doing something wrong. You have just informed us that you are doing something wrong, that you are seeking but not being given to. When someone gives to you, you have so much gratitude and love in your heart, you light up like a light bulb. And yet when you try to give to yourself, often there is little light. This is to do with what you are seeking. For when one gives to you gold, you accept it. And yet when you give to yourself, you look to the mud, looking for the gold in the mud. There is the reason why when you look for gold, you sift through the mud with water and a sieve. This is what you are forgetting. You are looking to the mud and only finding mud with little sparkles, thinking it's gold, but you've not reached the gold yet. You've seen others' gold, you've sampled it, you've been given it. But to find it, you must remember the language of the water. A time to purify the insecurities. A time to purify the illusions of you not being perfect. For everything you need is already within your power of not finding but just accessing. Then we bring forth the message of the sieve. For when you sieve, you sift through the excess mud and allow the gold to be polished, just like a shining diamond. When we see the diamond, we are in awe of its beauty. But it was there all along. It is not that you have to seek. It is not that you have to find. It is just that you have to sift through the words, the pages of your soul contracts, of your Akashic records. Then you remember the chapters of your book, of your life, and you remember that you cannot fail. There can be no fail. Therefore you stay on the path, the correct path. There is a need for more holistic business in your life and your understanding. Your relationships to others have improved and are better, but how you communicate to yourself, we would recommend compassionate or non-violent communication towards yourself. For instead of saying you are doing something wrong or the I am, you can change you are feeling that. By feeling you understand, just like the weather. Your feelings will come and go. But once you state something you are or you did, it becomes more ingrained with mud, therefore more difficult to sift through. When you change it to feelings, the weather, the water, shall help you sift through and find the gold that will bring forth abundance, clarity and liberation. That is what the birds do. They find the worms in the deepest of the soil. They find the nuts hidden in the deepest snow without getting cold, for they know, they trust their feelings. We invite the next question, please.
Blessings. Thank you for honoring us. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the channel. Previously, the information was given that I have another mark growing inside me. I would like to know the purpose of that and if it's time that this information can be revealed now. Thank you.
It is not always as it seems. Sometimes we speak in codes, sometimes we speak clearly, sometimes we speak with that which must be understood. Previously we stated if another mark appears, investigate fully. Secondly, although we said if, we said no or yes, we didn't say either. You have felt that you may have something else growing inside of you. This is that you are projecting and echoing the future, which will be one but two, not one but two marks inside you. This will be children. Therefore it is to fear not and to birth much. You are receiving uploads and codes of information, but you have not been visited by the beings from where you originate yet. This will happen before the birth of your children. There may be another mark. There may be a dilemma. And yet this is still being written in the stars. For not all is destiny, for not all is as it seems. For even in the darkness there is light, and even in the light there is a reality that is not always unseen. For only when you are in the highest vibration can you truly experience the source emerging from eternity. That is like the snake or the kundalini rising or the love emanating from a being's heart. The love which has been hidden for so long. For spirits are gatekeepers. Aliens, angels, spirits, animals, humans are just expressions of the great source emerging from within. Ultimately, decide what flavor you would like to experience. Creamy, salty, sweet, rich, heavy, dense, light, ice, hot, sour, spicy. Choose the flavor of the experience And yet remember the source. Where was it born? Where does it continue to live? That is the legacy that you are currently living and expanding upon. You have been chosen. But again, the group message, relationships, insecurities, rising above the ego, the subconscious ego, remembering the source of the continuing metamorphosis until you reconnect the dots home. Then there can be no struggle, for only wholeness and nourishing love is present, which will bless you and empower you to continue to thrive and be fully alive in the source of eternity. Your time is coming, dear one. You have progressed. 2 days more than you could know. You must rest, as another meeting is happening soon, and you will be required to move in that ceremony. To move between the realms. There is more that shall be transcribed upon this. We invite the next question.
Is it, again, through my path, is it necessary for me to open a place for my workshops with children and to do it with my sister and sister-in-law, and to open a place with my family? I just wonder if does it affect my family job, because I'm also carrying my father, that it's very important, that our job is very important for him.
You ask the question, and it's already in the pipeline. You ask whether you should take a driving test, and yet you've already passed and you've already got the car. Indeed, we as your ancestors congratulate it so. We bring forth the memory of December and the memory of August the 1st. For this is also about the future. And yet with a little bit more colour than you could have envisioned. Again, less with the knowledge, more from the wisdom, from the application, from the feeling. For knowledge, for books, for others' ideas are beneficial to a certain extent. And yet when you climb the slide and you eventually decide to go down the slide or to climb up the ladder, it comes with the wisdom that you've inquired and acquired, not from the knowledge. It would be good for another location, and yet we laugh at your question, for the location is already in the pipeline. It is already foreseen. It is already there. You just need to connect the dots to the dots. We gave the message of family, of relationships, and for you, the ancestors. Indeed, to have a family business in helping with the children, expanding it, is already destined. There are some things that are in the stars. No turning back. You made your decision. It was heard. It was accepted. And it's already there. We invite the next question, please, dear ones.
Yes, thank you, dear Spirit. I would like to know where my path is going now from today on, with men and in intimate relationships. I feel I have come to a crossroad since some time, and where am I expanding now into, where am I moving, and what is the picture there?
You have nursed yourself enough now. You have healed yourself enough now. Therefore, you are in a situation where a partner could come into your life. You have set the foundation correctly. And yet notice our wording, partner. For there is no need to marry. For the sacred marriage is one of the divine. When you truly trust a relationship to support you, to love you, there needs to be no written contract. For the written contracts are one of the Christianity that tried to control the world, to manipulate. Partnership, sacred partnership. A spiritual gentleman is on the horizon. It is not one of the three you currently have around you. It is a spiritual gentleman who is coming, who will also love to travel and take you with them. It is about starting a partnership, sacred space. It is about building the rug, just like Aladdin did, to transport to higher consciousness, and yet one that is also homely, that is grounding. For you are creating that and you have nursed that into your reality. But you must not nurse a relationship. You must learn to thrive and soar in being in a relationship. By creating your community, this gentleman will appear into your life. You do not need to seek, for you will know when it's the right one. And indeed, there is only one right one, dear one. We will meet again, and there shall be more on this subject. We invite the next question, please.
Dear Spirit, do I have a twin flame? Did I encounter my twin flame or will I? That's my question.
Again, we remind you of the power of the words. Will I, did I, is there? It is like saying, where is the gold? Where is the divine teacher? And you have forgotten yourself. It is within you. For your twin flame is but an echo of the love of the divine teacher and source within you. Of course you have an echo. Of course you have a twin flame. But be still. Reconnect with your echo, and you shall project into material form and be able to experience a unification. That is one that is limited to your physical and your universal realms. And yet ultimately in source you can have billions of twin flames, for it's all one. Yet your physical earthly realms and your universal realms, within the universes within the cosmos, says you may have many soulmates and only one twin flame. And yet we are reminding you this is not fully true, for there is far much more beyond the cosmos and the universes. You always have your echo with you. You just have to feed it. Hear it. Connect with it. Connect the dots again, we say. We invite the next question, please.
Blessings. Thank you for honoring us. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the channel. I was communicated in Konya during the trance channeling session that I have 3 twin flames now in this lifetime. I would like to know more about it. It's time to this information to reveal, please.
Again, you want to know. You want to know what you already know. Hear the echo. How many echoes does a lizard make? 5, 8? How many coos does a dove make? Listen to the echo. Find your echo within. For the echo of love is the vibration you are seeking, which you have never lost. Indeed, you have 3 twin flames. We have informed you. One is connected to the ice. One is connected to Native and Southern America. And yet we wish to remind you the power of choice. Do you want to eat what? The choice. Or just because there is 3 does not mean you have to choose either or all of them, or you can have even more. The important thing is whether you are asking physical or spiritual. For spiritual unification, there cannot be a number, for there is infinite. Yet we also wish to remind you the codes we speak in, for the power of 3 always comes back to you. The echo always comes back to you. The boomerang always comes back to you. So if you have 3 twin flames, can there really be 3 or 1 or infinity? It is all the same. It is love, the echo of love. Therefore, what we have gifted to you is the opportunity to grow and progress more than limiting yourself with just eating bread. For why have bread when you can have bread, butter and cheese together? Or bread, olive and cheese? There is the reason why they say the Holy Trinity, why there is the power of 3 in so many religions. For all eventually comes back to where it has started, the source. Therefore, you can play, you can enjoy the flavors of life, you can add the extra salt, the herbs, the extra ingredients. Yet, it's all the same. Be it salt, or be it cheese, or be it bread, or be it butter. It all originated from the same source. Therefore, just like the 3 twin flames that you have been echoing into your reality, it's all the same. Yet which is most optimal and which allows you to thrive more and to be nourished? To be nourished on less amount and more quality. For that is the one which will be echoing the love of your higher self, your higher spirit, not just the sexual and the lower. There are codes in this, but we wish to give you a taste of of the chocolate, of the cheese, each time. But each time we reveal more and more. There comes a time when you need to connect the dots and the jigsaw puzzle with your own echo, dear one. For you are wise beyond means, and you must utilize it. For your finger is the pen, connecting the dots together. Just like you connect the dots in the sky with your finger, you bridge forth heaven and earth. We shall meet again, dear one. We invite the next question, the last question of tonight, we feel.
Thank you. I wonder what's my karmic relationship with Shams and Konya, and I feel something. It's like, I don't know if it's true, but it's like my relationship with men in this life, and I really wonder if I'm gonna live an intimate relationship with a man in this lifetime, and will I have a child from him?
There is the need for you to be around spiritual energy. For when you are around spiritual energy, you feel restored. Your relationship with Konya, with the unraveling of the mission there, is again the message of the children. For there is the need for educating the wisdom, the fun, and allowing them to thrive. When you do this to the children, you will instantaneously create a sacred unification, marriage of relationship, and bring forth children of your own. And there is also the need to rescue children, to connect. For there are many children who do not have a home or the wisdom. When you take care of the children, you will allow the relationship to come into your life. This is what you have been feeling but not fully understanding. Yet this will happen, and this is happening. But also acknowledge the children within all beings, for all beings have inner children, wishing to come out and be hugged and communicated to. In the next 2 years, you will be in a relationship. But first you must do a bit of the work with the children. It's all blossoming so beautifully. Many flowers in the garden of your experience. In love, we are bringing forth the crystalline energies. We bring forth to all those who are present here today the message of being a crystalline temple. Sparkle and radiate the light to all. Be strong like a crystal, so your walls cannot fall down. You are protected, you are beaming the light. You have the love within. Therefore stop seeking, otherwise you become keepers of the hearts. There is no need to hold on to hearts, for love is always within you, always expanding. Be like the birds. Otherwise, just like Egypt, weighing the heart and weighing the feather. Your spirit is light, but very strong. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the flavors of your life. Yet always remember the source, acknowledge the source. Try to tune in with the source, for that is the course of the progress of the echo of love. In love and celebration and deeper understanding, we bring forth right, harmonious relationships and miracles unfolding. Now is the fertile time to sample some of the rewards of your labor in love and beauty. You are free and you are blessed, dear ones. We shall meet again. Good night, good love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I can just smell aftershave or some strange smell.
Really?
Mm.
Aftershave, we were talking about the relations and
Relations and twin flames and
Oh, interesting.
the male energy.
thank you for